Attention, stations on the network. Our broadcast will begin in 5 minutes from my mark. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, mark. That was your 5-minute time check, stations. Attention, stations on the network. Our broadcast will begin in 2 minutes from my mark. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, mark. That was your 2-minute time check, stations. Attention, stations on the network. Our broadcast will begin in 1 minute from my mark. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, mark. That was your 1-minute time check, stations.
on the Hawkeye Sports Network from Learfield. Live from View Rooftop at the Hilton Garden Inn in downtown Iowa City. This is Hawk Talk, brought to you by Steel. This fall, power up with Steel, a proud supporter of the Iowa Hawkeyes. Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy. U.S. Cellular, the official wireless partner of the Iowa Hawkeyes. U.S. Cellular, built for us. Iowa Corn. You might think Iowa just grows corn, but the truth is, corn grows Iowa. Brought to you by Iowa's corn farmers of the Iowa Corn Growers Association and the Iowa Corn Promotion Board. Your Iowa John Deere dealers. John Deere loves to see the Hawkeyes do their thing, because if anyone can appreciate building a legacy, it's Deere. Also brought to you by your local Ford dealers. University of Iowa Healthcare, changing medicine, changing lives. Lennox and your local Lennox home comfort specialist, made right here in Iowa since 1895. And by Mid-American Energy. Mid-American Energy is proud to deliver affordable, reliable energy to you all season long. This is Hawk Talk with Kirk Ferentz. Here's Gary Dolphin.
Hey, good evening, everybody. There's only one Hawk Talk with Coach Kirk Ferentz, and there's only one View Rooftop to host it in, and that's where we're at for another Wednesday night. Happy Veterans Day week. Veterans Day officially yesterday on November 11th. We'll talk more about that as the evening wears on, but we have veterans here in the house tonight, I know. Raise your hands. Let me see your hands, veterans. How many do we have here? We've got a few over at the bar. That's a good place to be, out in the outlying area. Great house again tonight. We're glad you joined us on the Hawkeye Radio Network for Hawk Talk with Coach Ferentz. We're here until 8 o'clock, so if you're in the neighborhood, please stop by. We're right downtown Iowa City on the 12th floor of the Hilton Garden Inn. It's called View, V-U-E Rooftop. And what a perfect night, because the Northern Lights, I'm not sure what time they're going to make an appearance tonight, but if it's clear enough, you'll be able to see them around Iowa and around the Midwest. I got a good look at them last night, about 10 o'clock. I'm getting ready to go to bed. My wife says, why don't you go outside? I go, it's 21 degrees outside. And she told me the Northern Lights were shining brightly, so I went around the back of the house. We live out in the country, so you need to be away from the city lights. But there it was, spectacular red and green, somewhat yellowish colors, and it's really a marvel of nature and of our outer space. I've got the official description of what the Northern Lights are. I'll give that to you a little bit later on. But we're on the 12th floor of the Hilton Garden Inn. You don't have to worry about city lights up here. So stop by for no other reason. Say hi to Coach Ferentz and get a look at the Northern Lights. You can join us every Wednesday night for Hawk Talk, or you can stop by on football Saturdays, too, to View Rooftop for a great experience unique to Iowa City. You can immerse yourself in an invigorating environment with comfortable contemporary indoor and outdoor seating, high-definition televisions throughout for watching the game, game day specials, and live music. Enjoy the camaraderie and celebrate with a toast at VUE, View Rooftop at the Hilton Garden Inn here in downtown Iowa City. Please call for reservations at 319-519-4650, 319-519-4650. The Hawks have been working hard to bounce back from a tough loss to the Oregon Ducks in the drizzle last Saturday night over at Kinnick Stadium, Saturday afternoon, 18-16 the final. The Hawks have now, their 3 losses, 6-3 on the year, still a solid 4-2 in the Big Ten. But their 3 losses have been to, at the time, top 20 ranked teams by a combined 10 points now. And so they need to get that turnaround, win a couple close games going forward, and be great to start that at Southern Cal this weekend. Here comes another West Coast high-flying athletic team that can really run, the USC Trojans. They are 1 game ahead of the Hawkeyes at 5-1 in the Big Ten, 7-2 overall. And the Trojans will host the Hawks in their homecoming game. That'll be a 2:30 start here on the Hawkeye Radio Network. 12:30 for the pregame coverage on Saturday afternoon from the time and memorial, the time-tested Los Angeles Memorial Coliseum. I remember making a few trips out there with the Hawkeyes in the 70s and 80s. It didn't go well. The Hawkeyes were facing some incredibly strong USC teams of John McKay back in those days. USC has 8 Heisman Trophy winners. They can call their own, and nobody else has 8 Heisman Trophy winners. Of course, the Hawks have Niall Kinnick, and we're pretty proud of that. But when you think of Charles White and O.J. Simpson and Carson Palmer and Mark Leinart and a few others, they've got 5 tailbacks, Reggie Smith and or not Reggie Smith, who am I thinking of? Reggie, I'll look it up to make sure. But they took his Heisman away and then gave it back. Hang on here. Their Heisman Trophy winners, Matt Leinart is one I know. Reggie Bush, what am I talking about? I knew it was a short last name. They gave Reggie his Heisman Trophy back. But think about it, 8 Heisman trophies. They've got 11 national championships by far and away, right near the top. I think Notre Dame is right there with USC in terms of national titles. So this is, to say the least, a blue blood program that the Hawks are going into their den on Saturday afternoon. But we know what Iowa's made of, especially on the road. Iowa's been a good road team, and the defense needs to give another supreme effort. The Hawks hopefully can score more points. And you can hear the ball game right here on the Hawkeye Radio Network starting at 12:30. For tonight, you can dial in and let Coach know you're here. You can reach us any number of ways on the Hawkeye Radio Network for your thoughts, your questions, your comments, whether it be on Twitter or Facebook. Let's get it started. On Twitter, you can reach us at Gary Dolphin, on Facebook at facebook.com/Voice of the Hawks. The U.S. Cellular text line is available at 319-853-8344. 319-853-8344, or email us your question to hawktalk@HawkeyeRadioNetwork.com. We've got quite a few already that have checked in here in the last couple days on the text line, on Facebook, and also on Twitter. So we'll get to those as soon as Coach arrives a little bit after 7 o'clock. We've got a couple of guests we're going to talk to between now and then. Jan Llewellyn will join us in just a minute, or Jen Llewellyn. Jen is the third-year gymnastics coach of the Iowa Hawkeyes, and we look forward to our visit with her. Of course, Iowa traditionally strong gymnastics program. The Hawks finished 5th in the Big Ten a year ago. We'll talk with Coach Jen Llewellyn in a little bit. We're going to hear from a Green Beret, a Master Sergeant, Special Forces Green Beret, who heads up the Iowa Special Forces chapter of the Green Beret. His name is Mike McAmeal. He's from Cedar Rapids. Mike will join us a little bit later in the program. As for the Hawkeyes and quarterback Mark Gronowski, he understands what's at stake this week, and he won 2 national championships at South Dakota State. He's not used to losing.
Yeah, no, it's been a little difficult. It's never fun to lose. You never want to lose. You never expect to lose. But again, it's just being able to learn from it, and kind of it adds a new leadership element to me that I have to learn from, and learn how to, I guess, not learn how to lose. I hate when people say that, but learn how to approach the leadership wise after a loss, and knowing how we got to push guys forward and how we got to continue to keep the tempo up at practice, keep the energy going. And I feel like we've done a good job of that this week.
Quarterback Mark Gronowski, so he'll be ready. He'll talk about that USC defense a little bit later on. It is a homecoming of sorts for Iowa defensive back TJ Hall. He's a 190-pound senior from Fresno, California. TJ's having a terrific year, and we'll hear from TJ in a little bit as well. Fresno's about, 3.5 hours north of downtown L.A., but it's Iowa and the Southern California Trojans. Back to talk more about USC and Iowa a little bit later on. But when we come back, we'll be talking with Hawkeye women's gymnastics coach Jen Llewellyn. She joins us next on Hawk Talk with Coach Ferentz from Learfield and View Rooftop.
When it comes to holiday giving, Steel delivers power that lasts. From leaf blowers to pruners, every Steel battery tool is built to perform. And right now, batteries are included. Buy select battery tool sets and get a free extra battery this season. Find savings and gift ideas at SteelUSA.com. Happy holidays from Steel, proud supporter of the Iowa Hawkeyes. Offer valid for a limited time only at participating dealers while supplies last.
Basketball is back in Iowa City. Coach McCullum and the Iowa men's basketball team hit the hardwood for a limited number of non-conference games this November. Now is your chance to see the team and experience a game. Get your friends together for a night of Hawkeye hoops. Find tickets, game times, and more at HawkeyeSports.com. We'll see you at Carver Hawkeye Arena. Go Hawks!
How do you become America's best-selling brand? Let's break it down. Innovative tech means smarter and safer driving. Intelligent all-wheel drive will keep you ready for anything. And built Ford tough trucks will always get the job done. Plus, come into your local Ford store today and get super low APR financing, big cash back, and great lease offers on Ford's full line of cars, trucks, and SUVs. That's Ford, and that's how you become America's best-selling brand. Sales claim based on calendar year sales.
Can you think of anything that costs the same today as it did 10 years ago? There isn't much. That is, unless you're a Mid-American Energy customer. Thanks to all the renewable energy we're generating, our customers pay nearly the same rate for electricity today as they did back when we were all singing, "Call Me Maybe." And with Mid-American making even more investments in clean energy, you can count on enjoying those same affordable rates for the next decade. Now that's obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
We love it when the Hawkeyes do their thing, because if there's anyone who can appreciate building a legacy, it's John Deere. We've been growing our team since 1837, recruiting the best thinkers, doers, and makers to craft innovations that outpace the competition. Because whether it's cultivating the earth with a tractor or reshaping it with a 40-ton excavator, the machines we build are building America. Nothing runs like a Deere.
You might think Iowa grows corn, but the truth is, corn grows Iowa. Corn can even fuel your drive to watch the Hawkeyes play when you choose Unleaded 88. It's a fuel that's cheaper, cleaner, and greener. Plus, it's homegrown, making Unleaded 88 the clear choice at the pump and totally worth the hype. So as you head to cheer on the Hawkeyes this season, don't just fuel up. Pump it up with Unleaded 88. Find Unleaded 88 at a station near you. Go to iowacorn.org/88.
Hawk Talk coming live from View Rooftop. Thank you all for being here tonight in person and tuned in on the Hawkeye Radio Network, 50 stations strong around the great state of Iowa and the Midwest. I'm going to talk a sidestep here and talk a little bit about Iowa gymnastics for the next few minutes. We use this first half hour of Hawk Talk with Coach Ferentz to promote, to plug, to discuss other sports at the University of Iowa. And Hawkeye women's gymnastics has been legendary strong for a lot of years, and we're pleased to be joined by the head coach of the Hawks, Jen Llewellyn. She's in her second year. I had you here for a third year, but my, how time flies.
Yes, certainly.
So let's just assume you win the Big Ten championship this year,
That's
Coach.
the goal.
We can talk about that second year next year, but the Hawks are at Southern Cal in football, obviously, Saturday. You know all about these crazy schedules, travel schedules. You've been to the Northwest. You came here from Washington. So that's the expanded footprint of the Big Ten. Tell us about your thoughts in general about the conference expansion.
Yeah, it sure is. I think it's wonderful to be a part of a program that has universities on the West Coast and the East Coast. I think our location in the Midwest is perfect. Our travel schedule every year, we're very lucky. We will get to go out to UCLA this year for the Big Fours, which will be exciting. One of our assistant coach, he came from UCLA, and a lot of our athletes haven't competed on the West Coast ever. So that'll be a fun experience for them. And then we do go to Rutgers this year, but majority of our meets are in the Midwest. So I feel very lucky to be in the location that we're at, but it's fun to get to experience different campuses and different experiences all across the country.
And all your home mates this year are back in Carver Hawkeye Arena. You've been trading off Extreme Arena to Carver. Talk about the move back to Carver exclusively.
Yeah, so last year, our first year, we had 3 in Extreme Arena, 3 in Carver, and it was our first experience as a coaching staff, and we got feedback from the student athletes, feedback from the staff, and we noticed a bigger attendance at Carver. I think the experience was a little bit just more Iowa and the black and gold and the pride there. So we decided as a big group staff with the extended staff too that let's try to move to Carver so we really get that home field advantage there. And it worked out with the basketball schedule, the wrestling schedule, that all of our meets are going to be at Carver. So we have 5 home meets there in the regular season and a black and gold exhibition there in December.
Terrific. You kick the season off, Coach Llewellyn, in gymnastics on January 2nd. in Salt Lake City, participating in a tri-meet against Utah, the host school, and the University of Minnesota, a perennially strong team in the Big Ten. And then you host Michigan State, Nebraska, Penn State, a quadrangular meet with Central Michigan, Southeast Missouri, and Northern Illinois in March. That's a pretty heavy loaded competition-wise home slate.
Yep, we're very excited. Our goal is to, I think we averaged between 3,000 and 4,000 last year at Carver, so our goal is to fill the stands just like we do at all the other competitions there. But we are starting off the home season with a border battle, is what we're calling it, because it's Iowa State, Illinois State. It worked out perfectly that way, unintentionally, but it should be fun. Adeline Kenlin is actually an assistant coach at Illinois State.
Oh, she
and that's
is.
her very first
right.
college competition. So fun for her to be full circle back at Carver for her very first meet as a coach. And then some really big duels with our conference players. And we believe that any given night we can win and compete against those top perennial teams. And then, senior night with SEMO, Northern Illinois, and Central Michigan. So that should be a fun quad meet.
And you close the regular season at Iowa State. I bring that up because of the Iowa Corn Cyhawk Series showdown. That's March 13th. And of course, we have a lot of Hawkeye fans in Central Iowa who want to come out to that meet, and we'll talk more about that as that date approaches. Let's talk about some of your talent. You're really young.
Yes.
I mean, freshmen are really competed at every meet in the all-around. She is definitely all around. She could do it all. She's top 30, 35 ranked in every event last year. She should have a knockout year for her.
Yeah, and she is still training for Team Canada. So she went home in the summer and trained the elite program and came back stronger than she was even last year. So we're really excited and thrilled to see what she's going to show this year. After having a year under her belt of collegiate gymnastics, she's a little bit more comfortable, confident in her routines and her skills, and being in a crowd with a lot of thousands of people. So we're very excited for her. She has beautiful artistry too, a brand new floor routine that Brenna choreographed. That's just beautiful. So very excited for her this coming season.
She scored a 9.9 or higher 8 times in this past season, Coach. She won 15 event titles. She's ranked 5th on the beam, 7th in the all-around, 17th on or 25th on the floor. Does she have a strong suit, or is she equally good at all of them?
She's equally good at all of it. She is who she is every single day. She works hard, does everything the right way, loves gymnastics, loves Iowa, loves school here. She's just such an incredible human being. And she's only going to continue to get better the more comfortable she gets in the college ranks.
You mentioned Canada. She and 2 other Hawkeyes, Cassie Lee and Sydney Turner, all represented Canada at the 2024 Paris Olympic Games. That's a feather in the Iowa cap.
It is. It's definitely bragging rights there. And Cassie has a tattoo of the Olympic rings on her arm, so it's fun for her to be able to brag about it. But we're very fortunate and lucky to have them all here at Iowa. Well,
she's a returning first team All Big Ten, all freshman honors a year ago, earned freshman of the week 3 times. Who do you have in support of her?
We have an incredible incoming freshman class.
That's what I hear.
Yep, so they're
ranked top 10 or close to it.
Yep. So we're very, very excited about that. We worked really hard to get that class committed here, spent a lot of time there. They came in the summer and got to spend time with the team. So we had about 8 weeks with them, and that was a great transition. And all 4 of them are firing on all cylinders. So 3 of them are capable of doing all 4 events. So we've got some competitive depth there. And then we do have Jerquavia back, Q Henderson. So
you remember me mentioning her a year ago, how much I love to watch her compete. Who doesn't?
Yes.
I mean, but she's been riddled with severe injuries. How's she doing?
She's doing great. Good. She's been training all 4 events. She's back, and thankfully we'll get to see her in Carver this year.
She's a Big Ten floor champion.
Yes.
I would love to see that. First team All Big Ten, but she's an All-American too. Yeah,
she is.
What makes her, I mean, what sets her apart from, I mean, gymnasts are great athletes, period, top to bottom. What sets her apart?
Her passion and love for what she's doing. She's been here for a while now, obviously dealt with a lot of challenges and obstacles, but she's continued to stay patient in the process and trust that this is the path that she needs to take. And she does have her sights on LA 2028 for Bahamas, so that's her goal there. But she's been doing gymnastics for a long time, and it takes a toll on your body, but she's very level-headed. She is committed to the task at hand, and she's just unlike anyone else.
I hope coaching is in her future. I think she'd be a great coach.
I think so, too.
Yeah, you probably know that,
yes.
right? So, hey, Jen, thanks for stopping by in your second year at the University of Iowa. Go get them. I mean, that's when kids are that young, when your roster's that young,
yep.
they have no fear.
Correct.
And they're just going to go out and compete with great coaching that you can provide. You're going to have a fun year. We look forward to that first meet at Carver and talk to you then.
Sounds good. Thanks for having me.
Coach Jen Llewellyn. Ladies and gentlemen, how about a hand for Coach Llewellyn and Hawkeye Women's Gymnastics? Part of our Hawk Talk with Coach Ferentz tonight. We're live at View Rooftop in the Hilton Garden Inn, 12th floor of the Hilton Garden Inn. We're brought to you by Iowa Corn and the Iowa Corn Cyhawk Series, promoting honest, hard-working values that are uniquely Iowan. So on behalf of Iowa's corn farmers, we salute all athletes for their hard work and determination to be the best both on and off the field. Just like our top athletes, our state leads the nation in corn and ethanol production. Go to iowacorn.org and learn how corn grows Iowa. A salute to veterans coming up next year on Hawk Talk with Coach Ferentz from Learfield and View Rooftop.
Hello, seafood fans. This is Bruce Gerleman, and I own Splash Seafood Bar and Grill. Have you been to Splash lately? Come back downtown and let me spoil you. White linens, fresh flowers, candlelight, award-winning wine lists, professional staff, and best of all, my fresh fish are jetted in from Hawaii every morning. Enjoy my homemade lobsters, Alaskan king crab, fresh oysters from the cold, clear, clean waters of the Pacific Northwest. My favorite is the surf and turf featuring my hand-cut prime steaks and lobster. Splash, a truly special evening of adult indulgence.
Iowa fans, with US Mode from US Cellular, you can keep your eye on the game, not on your screen. Whether you're inside the stadium, tailgating in the lots, or listening to the game at home, US Cellular wants you to focus on genuine connections with your family, friends, and fellow Hawkeye fans. That means at game time, you should do less growling and more cheering. So eliminate distractions and build connections by setting your phone to US Mode, because game day is for cheering on the Hawkeyes. Go Hawks! US Cellular, built for us.
Hello, Iowa. Here's a promise. Wherever you are in this great state, University of Iowa Healthcare is here for you, even if you never walk through our doors. Educating, caring, leading research, sharing our expertise with all. Because we believe that UI Healthcare is here to make all of Iowa better. UI Healthcare, changing medicine, changing lives. Visit uihealthcare.org.
The silly moments, the proud moments, even the hard moments. They're what make life remarkable. And they're why Wellmark Blue Cross and Blue Shield is here for every moment. Committed to making healthcare better, more affordable, with more choices for care. And service and coverage that give you peace of mind no matter what comes your way. So you can show up for every tender moment, every brave moment, and every wouldn't miss it for the world moment, knowing that Blue is here for you. Go to wellmark.com/every moment to find a plan right for you.
You asked for all the extreme internet performance at an all-in price, and we listened. Get 1 gig internet with a 2-year price lock and everything included. Unlimited data for non-stop streaming, powerful Wi-Fi for enhanced coverage, built-in online threat protection, and internet equipment. All for just $65 a month for 2 years. It's the extreme 1 gig internet deal you asked for. Call 844-4FASTER or visit extreme.com for details. Offer available to new customers only. Price doesn't include one-time charges, tax, and government fees.
Entertain your clients or employees each home game in Hawkeye Village. Presented by Navigate Wellbeing Solutions. Packages include game tickets and catered food and beverage. Visit HawkeyeSports.com for more details. As a proud partner of Hawkeye football, Navigate Wellbeing Solutions is an employee engagement company helping organizations create more health and happiness in the communities they serve. Learn more at navigatewell.com.
Hawk Talk with Iowa football coach Kirk Ferentz continues here tonight from View Rooftop in the Hilton Garden Inn, downtown Iowa City. Thank you all for joining us. Again, you can reach us via Twitter or on Facebook. On Twitter at Curry Dolphin. The Facebook address for a question or comment for Coach is facebook.com/Voice of the Hawks. Our U.S. Cellular text line, 319-853-8344. Or email us your inquiry to hawktalk@HawkeyeRadioNetwork.com. Hawks in Southern Cal coming up on Saturday afternoon, 12:30 for the pregame coverage, 2:30 for the kick Iowa time here on the Hawkeye Radio Network from the Los Angeles Coliseum. USC, they're skilled offensively, as you can imagine, at every position. They have maybe the best wide receiver in college football, and I say that with all due respect to all the great receivers, including the young man at Ohio State. Oregon, Malik Benson, they've had a bunch of wide receivers at Oregon that could go get the football. And USC is right there with a multitude of talent, really at every position, but especially at wide receiver. His name is Mekhi Lemon. He's 5'11", 195 pounds. He's got 50 catches for almost 800 yards. 50 catches and 6 touchdowns. Jaden Mayava, of course, is their quarterback. He's from Pittsburgh. He's from Coach Ferentz' hometown. Started out at Penn State. He's made a couple stops along the way, but he's at USC now, and he's the real deal, completing 65% of his passes. He's one of the Heisman candidates, no doubt. He's thrown 235 times, 15 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. Northwestern picked him off once last week, but did not score. They have an outstanding tailback in King Miller, a big offensive line, and a terrific defense led by, well, take your pick. They've got outstanding frontmen. Jade Abasiri is up front. He's got a sack or 2. Anthony Lucas has 3 sacks. Cameron Crawford at the other end has 4 sacks. Their linebackers are fast. They're 230 pounds. They can run. And as usual, their back end is always outstanding. No Troy Polamalu's back there this year, but they're still very good, especially Bishop Fitzgerald at the free safety. So we're going to get a look at 2 of the better free safeties in college football, and Fitzgerald. And, of course, we're a little partial to Xavier Wampa. This is, as I mentioned at the top of the show, Veterans Week. Yesterday it was Veterans Day. November 11th is always Veterans Day. And it's set aside to honor and thank all those who've served honorably in the military, in war or peacetime. You know, oftentimes we confuse Veterans Day with Memorial Day. Memorial Day honors our war dead, those who have died in the service of their country. This week we offer a standing ovation to all men and women who've answered the call to defend the United States. And one such warrior is Green Beret Master Sergeant Mike McAmeal of Cedar Rapids. Mike is the president of the Galen Kittleson, Iowa chapter of the Special Forces Association. McAmeal joined the Army in 1982.
I was an airborne infantryman in the 82nd Airborne Division for about 4 years, and then I had a small break in service. I went back in the military, and then I was an infantryman in the 10th Mountain Division. Around 1990, I decided I wanted to go to Special Forces Assessment and Selection, so I did that, and I was successful, and I spent the next 14 years, more or less, in the 10th Special Forces Group. I had a short stint of 3 years as a instructor at the Special Warfare School. But I spent most of my time in the 10th Special Forces Group from 1990 to 2004 when I retired. I retired as a Master Sergeant in 2004.
Who is the Galen Kittleson, Iowa chapter of the Special Forces Association?
So the Special Forces Association is a fraternal veterans organization, much like the VFW or American Legion, but obviously you have had to been either a active duty, National Guard, Reserve, Special Forces qualified member to be a full member. We do have auxiliary and whatnot. The Iowa chapter, we've been around for about 6 years. I actually founded it because we didn't have a chapter here in Iowa. Currently we have about 32 members. We have people from all over Iowa and northern Missouri. So we have a wide range of experience from Vietnam to the global war on terror, peacetime, folks that spent their whole time in the National Guard, folks that were in active duty. So just we all have in common that we all passed the Special Forces Selection Assessment and the qualification course, and we just get together and kind of support those memories, I guess.
Who is Galen Kittleson, Mike?
Yeah, I'm glad you asked. So Galen Kittleson is from St. Ansgar. He joined the military, I can't give you the exact date, but in World War II. He has the distinction of, I think he's the only U.S. military member that was on 5 POW raid missions. He did one as a member of the Alamo Scouts in World War II. He was the youngest member on that mission, and then in Vietnam, he was the oldest member of the famous San Tay raid. So He's from St. Ansgar, and when he retired out of the military, he went back there and went back to farming, and he passed away a few years ago, and we thought it appropriate to name our chapter after him.
Very appropriate indeed. The Green Berets received additional fame from the 1968 movie of the same name, starring John Wayne, Iowa-born, Winterset, Iowa, John Wayne, David Jansen, Jim Hutton, and then the #1 hit song, Ballad of the Green Berets by Barry Sadler, a Special Forces medic, in 1966 was released. 2 million copies of that song were sold the first 5 weeks of its release. Incredible. Mike, both movie and songs centered on the Vietnam War, the popularity of the Green Berets skyrocketed. And given that you often operated in secrecy, was that exposure a curse or a blessing for you?
Well, I think I would call it a blessing. I mean, in today's modern military, all units are competing for defense dollars. You have to be a known quantity to kind of get your piece of the pie and continue training and whatnot. And so you need that exposure to stay relevant. I mean, we do operate in secrecy, but it is no secret that we are a part of the military. People know that. Like you said, there's been a movie made. So I don't think secrecy and having your unit out there are fight each other, I guess.
Thank you, Mike McAmill, United States Green Beret, a member of the Iowa Special Forces operation, and the Galen Kittleson chapter. You heard him talk about Galen being from St. Ansgar, protecting and saving lives even today, right across the street from Kinnick Stadium. Now citizen Mike McAmill is his military career, I should say his military career was Special Forces and Green Beret always. He works for the University of Iowa Hospitals right across the street from Kinnick Stadium. Galen Kittleson's military career spanned 4 decades, serving in World War II, the Korean and Vietnam Wars as well. In January 1945, Kittleson helped liberate over 500 POWs in the Philippines who had been on the infamous Bataan Death March. Kittleson trained hundreds, if not thousands, of Special Forces and Green Beret troops in the 1970s at Fort Bragg, North Carolina. He retired in 1978 and returned to the farm near St. Ansgar. Galen Kittleson died of cancer in 2006. Soldiers from across the nation attended his funeral in their dress uniforms, and an 8-member color guard from the 7th Special Forces Group at Fort Bragg carried Kittleson to his final resting place, which is the First Lutheran Cemetery in St. Ansgar. So our thanks to Mike McAmill for reliving some of those days with Galen Kittleson and telling us about Galen and the Galen Kittleson Special Forces chapter of Iowa featuring the Green Berets. And again, sincere thanks to all of our veterans, not just the Green Berets, but all branches of the service. We thank you, men and women of the United States military, on this special Veterans Memorial Week. Okay, let's pause 10 seconds right now for station identification. We're at Hawk Talk with Coach Ferentz, who'll be joining us here shortly. We're live from View Rooftop in downtown Iowa City in the Hilton Garden Inn. 10-second ID break on the Hawkeye Radio Network. You're listening to Hawk Talk with Coach Ferentz. Thank you, Hawkeye Radio Network. They're tuned in from Guernsey to Green Island, Glidden, and Glenwood. Listening to Hawk Talk with Coach Ferentz. We're brought to you by Hawkeyes. Every great season starts with a strong foundation. And for farmers, that foundation is a healthy soil. At Hawkeyes, we're restoring life to the soil with over 800 species of microbes, helping grow stronger crops, more profitable farms, and healthier communities. Hawkeyes, the future of farming starts here. Learn more at Hawkeyes.com. Hawkeyes.com. Coach is entering the room. We'll get right to Iowa USC football talk from here on out. Come back and join us next on Hawk Talk with Coach Ferentz from View Rooftop in Learfield.
How do you become America's best-selling brand? Let's break it down. Innovative tech means smarter and safer driving. Intelligent all-wheel drive will keep you ready for anything. And built Ford tough trucks will always get the job done. Plus, come into your local Ford store today and get super low APR financing, big cash back, and great lease offers on Ford's full line of cars, trucks, and SUVs. That's Ford, and that's how you become America's best-selling brand. Sales claim based on calendar year sales.
From the roar of the crowd to Carver cones, can't miss plays and heart-pounding finishes. There's something for everyone at an Iowa athletics event. Don't just hear about it or see the clip on your phone. Be part of it. Change up your routine and get your friends together for an Iowa athletics event. Make it a memorable one by visiting HawkeyeSports.com. Fire up the fight song, cue the victory polka, and experience what it means to be a Hawkeye on Iowa. And go Hawks!
At Mid-American Energy, our 1.6 million customers depend on our energy 24/7. That's why we work 24/7 to deliver the safe, reliable energy you need. To keep our 99.9% reliability record, we're enhancing our technology, improving resiliency, and investing in critical infrastructure. We're generating power from all available resources to cover any increases in demand. And we're innovating to ensure you always have the energy you need. Mid-American Energy, obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
Cancer doesn't care. It doesn't care what you look like, how old you are, what you do, or where you live. We do. University of Iowa Healthcare is doing more to beat cancer than anyone in the state. From second opinions to life-saving treatments that happen here first. We lead the way in research, training, and care because we believe that UI Healthcare is here to make all of Iowa better. UI Healthcare, changing medicine, changing lives. Visit uihealthcare.org.
Hi, Hawk fans. Coach Kirk Ferentz here. For 40 years, our players have proudly worn the ANF logo to honor the hardworking farmers who keep this country growing. With fewer farmers working the land, their challenges are bigger, but their commitment never wavers. The Iowa Hawkeyes and the Iowa Farm Bureau are proud to stand with these dedicated families who feed and fuel our nation. Thanks for celebrating 40 years of America Needs Farmers. Let's keep standing strong for the people who keep us going strong. To learn more, visit americaneedsfarmers.org.
We love it when the Hawkeyes do their thing, because if there's anyone who can appreciate building a legacy, it's John Deere. We've been growing our team since 1837, recruiting the best thinkers, doers, and makers to craft innovations that outpace the competition. Because whether it's cultivating the earth with a tractor or reshaping it with a 40-ton excavator, the machines we build are building America. Nothing runs like a Deere.
And Coach Ferentz is in the house now as we welcome you back to Hawk Talk from View Rooftop, downtown Iowa City at the Hilton Garden Inn. Great to see you, Kirk. Did you notice are the Northern Lights out tonight? Did you notice on the drive down or not?
Yeah, no, I didn't notice them, quite frankly. And
well, you're not looking up, I know, when you're driving. But
so last night, a couple of our younger assistants were coming up the steps when I was going down. Obvious question, like, what are you guys doing? Maybe they were out, who knows, trick-or-treating. It's a little bit late for that. But anyway, they were out trying to peek at the Northern Lights, and then sure enough, I'm going home. And out on Prairie du Chien, where you get out into the
county
away from
the city of lights, yeah.
There are all kinds of cars. I've never seen that much activity
really?
on Prairie du Chien. All kinds of cars parked off to the side, so I was trying to make sure I didn't hit a pedestrian, obviously. But that must be a good place to watch them, but I missed them, apparently. I don't know.
Well, they might be out. It's supposed to be out again tonight, so okay. I don't know if it's clear out or not. But on your way home, why don't you pull over on Prairie du Chien, get out. And,
ask somebody who knows what's going on.
Get a cup of coffee with you. And, you might be by yourself out there tonight, although there'll be a few out there. But I did go out in the backyard last night and take a look. It was spectacular. Red, green, bluish green. It's something. The official explanation is energy from the sun interacts with the Earth's atmosphere, creating a color show unmatched at night. Well, I would agree with that. It says, get away from the city lights. You should be able to see it again tonight. If you can step out in the cold, which I'm okay with for about 30 seconds. But and then the article further stated December has the potential to host the stunning Northern Lights show or display. I don't know what the difference is. Northern Lights, Aurora Borealis. I've heard all the terms, but it was spectacular last night. The colors. So you know what you can look forward to on the way home. Get Mary, maybe get Mary out in the backyard.
Never know.
Take a gander up north. All right. Well, let's talk a little football. The Hawks are headed west, not north, this weekend. I know you've had a couple days to check the tape on Southern Cal. Whether it be previous games, they handled Northwestern 38-17 last weekend. Did it with solid defense. They've always got stars on offense. How about the program in general?
Yeah, they really do. They're much improved from a year ago. And Coach Riley's been there a couple of years. I think probably the biggest couple things I would notice. They've gotten better on defense, and I think that was a concerted effort a couple of years ago. They hired the defensive coordinator from UCLA. It's his second year in the program. Matt Ince was there a year ago. They brought him specifically to help the defense as well. And then he took off, went to Fresno, but they brought in Rob Ryan actually to take his place. So another guy with veteran experience and great expertise. The other thing that really jumps out at you just statistically is compared to last year, they run the ball about 50 yards a game more than. So they've emphasized that a little bit more and got more production there. And then the biggest difference, I think, from my vantage point, the quarterback a year ago threw 15 interceptions. Right now, this quarterback's throwing 5, and that's huge. So, they've done a much better job, I think, that way. They're very talented, very, very talented up front. Got a couple young guys playing tackle, but they look really good, and brought a transfer center in. So good group up front. Quarterback's been, I think, a big improvement to him, with all due respect to the other guy that was there. But I think he's really helped make them go. And then they've got, it sounds like, I feel like they say this every week, but the receivers, I don't know when this train's going to end. It's just ridiculous.
Not anytime soon.
Oh, my gosh. It seems like everybody's got great receivers. So, these guys are right there. Number 6 is highly productive, leading receiver in the conference, and really good player. And then number 8's also very talented. He's got great length. So those two guys are quite a handful. They got good tight ends, good running backs. So it's a very, very talented team. And then flipping it over on defense, they look like a pro outfit. They're just all tall, linear. Linear is probably not a good term because these guys weigh 265, 275, but they're not like squatty. They're big.
Yeah.
Just Jack Campbell plus some that kind of build. So. It's just a really talented football team. Like I said, last year they were 6-6, went back and forth a little bit, and then won their bowl game. Interestingly enough, against Texas A&M, who's now,
third in the country,
one of the top seeds. Yeah, so
undefeated.
Both those teams were, kind of there last year, but they've both taken huge steps. And Southern Cal, at least from my vantage point, I don't know how much. Just seems like they very quietly have ascended right up there, and they're 7-2 with one loss in our conference, and that's by
hard to do.
I think by 2 points. So this is a really good football team. It's going to be a big challenge.
Coach, Lincoln Riley historically has loved to run the football. Southern Cal's the only team in the country now averaging 200 rushing yards and 300 passing anywhere on the map. That's impressive. That's a lot of offense.
A lot of offense.
So obviously they do it with great protection. You mentioned the offensive line, but I think we can come back to the quarterback. He's a legitimate Heisman Trophy candidate in a lot of people's views. Jade Maeva, who is a Pittsburgh native. I throw that out there for what it's worth. Comes from your hometown, but he's 6'3", 225 pounds. I mean, obviously, physically he's gifted. What sets him apart?
Well, he can do both. He can run the ball, he can throw it, and very mobile and agile back there. Probably the most impressive play he's made all season long, with all due respect. Northwestern, they were tied 14-14. Southern Cal had the ball back. Their own 20, 22, 23, whatever it might have been. They're coming off out of their end. A couple of minutes left in the first half last week, I guess it would have been, and. He threw a ball where they dropped Northwestern dropped a defensive lineman out and covered her, bringing pressure, and it wasn't expected to be there. He threw it right to the guy, so the guy's headed for the pile on him. You may have seen the play, but the quarterback just gave chase to that, made a great play to knock the Northwestern guy out before he scored, and the ball came out. So turned around instead of Northwestern getting the ball on the 1 yard line. Unbelievable, and then so the ball goes out of the back of the end zone, and. They get the ball back, and they came back 4 plays later, and they're in the end zone. So they've got that big strike ability, and he's right at the center of that. But that was just an unbelievable play, just a great effort play, great toughness play, and a guy who just was playing for his team. So very, very impressive.
Mekhi Lemon, their best receiver. Jacoby Lane is right there with him, but Mekhi Leonard, he's 5'11", 195, and. The word on him is, he's not 6'5", 230, but you can't get the ball away from him. He'll out-battle you for the ball. Any 50-50 balls, you better be ready for a fight.
He's a really good football player. And, yeah, the other receiver, number 8's a little bit more like 13 from Indiana, taller. Got that size, which makes it a difficult challenge, and he uses that well. But, yeah, 6 is just a great all-around player, and they've also got him returning kicks and punts. So, there's 2 more ways he's dangerous and can score and, threaten you that way. So, I mean, it's not a huge surprise. These guys have recruited very well. That's not a new phenomenon by any stretch. But, maybe they took a little dip a couple of years back. But, had a pretty good quarterback 3 years ago, too. Caleb Williams wasn't bad. So they've had their share of players. That's whether it was when I was in high school or now. They've had pretty good players for a long, long time.
They've only had, I think, 8 Heisman Trophy winners, 5 tailbacks, 3 quarterbacks. Yeah. Most of the names we're familiar with. L.A. Coliseum, have you ever coached there? Have you ever been there?
1993. And interestingly enough, it was against the, at that time, Los Angeles Raiders, because they were back and forth up and down the coast a little bit. And
so you'd have been, what, in Baltimore?
My first year in Cleveland, actually.
Oh, Cleveland,
okay. Al Davis was out there at midfield surveying our team, as Coach Belichick predicted he would be. And the Raiderettes were,
of course,
lined up on both sides as we came in and out of the locker room to serve as a distraction. He was a master of psychology, Al Davis, and a great football mind. And what a story he was, being a head coach and then an owner. That'll never happen again. So it was an interesting trip, and we won the game. I actually, the TV guys that met with them today via Zoom, they had done the research. I knew it was at the end of the game. They said there were 6 seconds left. We ran a toss double crack to the left to score a touchdown and beat the Raiders. So,
wow,
pretty memorable day.
And the Raiders historically are very strong, whether in L.A. or Oakland.
Howie Long was playing, and boy, you talk about
Howie
a great
Long.
player. Wow,
he's one of your favorites, I know. By the way, you're in error. We do have an owner who's a head coach today, Jerry Jones.
Oh, yeah, well, yeah, right.
Yeah, I
thought about that. Yeah, exactly right. Shame on me.
He may not wear the title. But,
shame on me.
I mean, come on. I'm sure it's on his calling card somewhere. Coach Ferentz, it's his show. We're a View Rooftop, live in the Hilton Garden Inn. We'll come back with Coach in just a minute. We'll go to Twitter, Facebook, U.S. Cellular text line, and Hawkeye email address. So get ready for your questions and his answers. By the way, Hawk fans, you can entertain your friends, clients, or employees every home game. There are not many left. Michigan State is it. So get in line right now at Hawkeye Village, presented by Navigate Wellbeing Solutions. The packages include game tickets and catered food and beverages. Visit HawkeyeSports.com for more details. Navigate Wellbeing Solutions is an employee engagement company helping organizations create more health and happiness in the communities they serve. Learn more at navigatewell.com. That's navigatewell.com. When we come back, we'll hear from California native TJ Hall, get Kirk's thoughts on Iowa's outstanding cornerback. He's heading home. He's from Fresno, which is a ways from L.A., but TJ has some thoughts on going back home to play Southern Cal this weekend. All right, we're back in a minute here on Hawk Talk with Coach Ferentz from Learfield.
Iowa fans, with US Mode from U.S. Cellular, you can keep your eye on the game, not on your screen. Whether you're inside the stadium, tailgating in the lots, or listening to the game at home, U.S. Cellular wants you to focus on genuine connections with your family, friends, and fellow Hawkeye fans. That means at game time, you should do less growling and more cheering. So eliminate distractions and build connections by setting your phone to US Mode, because game day is for cheering on the Hawkeyes. Go Hawks! U.S. Cellular, built for us.
Here come the Hawkeyes.
And a Stockie racing to the basket, layup good.
Iowa Athletics is gearing up for another amazing season filled with exciting matchups and electrifying plays.
Working hard into the corner. Koch hits a three.
Get your game face ready and come on out to cheer the Hawkeyes on all season long. Visit HawkeyeSports.com to find tickets, schedules, game times, and more on Iowa. Go Hawks.
Touchdown! Touchdown, Iowa!
How do you become America's best-selling brand? Let's break it down. Innovative tech means smarter and safer driving. Intelligent all-wheel drive will keep you ready for anything. And built Ford tough trucks will always get the job done. Plus, come into your local Ford store today and get super low APR financing, big cash back, and great lease offers on Ford's full line of cars, trucks, and SUVs. That's Ford, and that's how you become America's best-selling brand. Sales claim based on calendar year sales.
Hi, Hawk fans. Coach Kirk Ferentz here. For 40 years, our players have proudly worn the ANF logo to honor the hardworking farmers who keep this country growing. With fewer farmers working the land, their challenges are bigger, but their commitment never wavers. The Iowa Hawkeyes and the Iowa Farm Bureau are proud to stand with these dedicated families who feed and fuel our nation. Thanks for celebrating 40 years of America Needs Farmers. Let's keep standing strong for the people who keep us going strong. To learn more, visit americaneedsfarmers.org.
Hello, Iowa. Here's a promise. Wherever you are in this great state, University of Iowa Healthcare is here for you, even if you never walk through our doors. Educating, caring, leading research, sharing our expertise with all. Because we believe that UI Healthcare is here to make all of Iowa better. UI Healthcare, changing medicine, changing lives. Visit uihealthcare.org.
We love it when the Hawkeyes do their thing, because if there's anyone who can appreciate building a legacy, it's John Deere. We've been growing our team since 1837, recruiting the best thinkers, doers, and makers to craft innovations that outpace the competition. Because whether it's cultivating the earth with a tractor or reshaping it with a 40-ton excavator, the machines we build are building America. Nothing runs like a Deere.
It's Hawk Talk with Coach Ferentz here live from View Rooftop in downtown Iowa City on the Hilton Garden Inn. Hawks and Southern Cal play at 2:30 Iowa time on Saturday afternoon. Our pregame coverage starts at 12:30. Iowa defensive back T.J. Hall is heading home. He's from Fresno, and he talked about the trip back home for the senior.
TJ, before we start talking about USC, I want to kind of put a bow on Oregon. Obviously, a special game, a special environment. Didn't go your guys' way. How quickly do you guys turn the page? What do you learn from the Ducks? And how quickly do you guys get back to work with more football left to be played?
Yeah, first thing, man, that was a great team. That was a great game by both teams, man. We competed hard. Man, it sucks that somebody got to come out winner and loser, but you know, they battled hard, and we battled at as good as we could. And, you know, we didn't get the job done. But, you know, KF talks about coming ready to go every game. So we came ready to go. You know, they just had a couple plays that went their way. But, you know, we watched the film Sunday, and right after we watched the film, we turned the page on the USC.
You guys played in the rain and cold and all of that. To look around on Saturday and see 70,000 Iowa fans and not an empty seat watching you guys play, what does that say about your fan base? And that's got to motivate you guys and what happened on Saturday.
Man, that doesn't surprise me, man. Our fans, rain, sleet, snow, you know, I know they're going to be in the crowd, packed out, screaming at the top of their lungs. So, man, I always appreciate the fans because, you know, whenever we can get a little extra help, a little more crowd noise, get them off false start, anything like that, man, I always appreciate that from our fans. So, yeah, rain, sleet, or so, I know they're going to be there, and just always having a packed out crowd, man. I love it. I love Kinnick Stadium.
You guys love Kinnick. You don't get that this week, but you get a little bit maybe of a home advantage. You're going to USC, and California is your home, Fresno, California. Not LA, a little bit away from LA, but still close for family and friends. What's it like for you to head back to your home state and to maybe play some football against or in front of people that don't get to see you play every day?
Man, it's awesome, man. Growing up, obviously I was a Cali kid, so I was a big USC fan. So now getting to play against them, it's awesome. Dream come true. Can't wait to go out there and compete. And then, man, just having all of my family, friends out there, man, it's going to be awesome. Having so many people who haven't been able to see me play in person, but just on TV, man, it makes you want to go nothing but do the best as you can and just, you know, show your people that, you know, you give it your all every game.
Absolutely. TJ, when you look at this team, USC, a really good offense, especially throwing the football. So as a defensive back like you are, what's the challenge that they present and how good are they on the offensive side of the football?
Yeah, I think the first thing, it starts with their run game. You know, they got a great run game. USC obviously was known for the run game back then with Reggie Bush. And, now they've always had great receivers. So it starts with the run and stopping the run. And then, their quarterback is a great quarterback. He gets out of the pocket, scrambles, and then their receivers, man, big, long, fast. And, we got to do our job of getting hands on receivers and being physical and not letting them take the explosive shots that they like to take.
When you head out west, you hear the stats about Iowa and winning out west and the West Coast and all those kind of things. Do you guys listen to that kind of stuff? And or is it just, this is an entirely different game. This is two different teams and you guys are ready to show up and play football?
Yeah, our coaches do a great job of, no matter who we're playing, the game plan doesn't change, the routine doesn't change. We're going to come out, play as hard as we can. And as far as going out to the West Coast, I hear a lot of announcers or maybe even other teams using the time change as an excuse. But, one thing my dad always told me growing up, whether we would go out to work out early in the morning or go play basketball, football, he always said, you know what you're going to go, or what you got to do at what time you got to do it. So 12:40 kickoff, we know we got to go out there, play our best football and go out there and compete to the best of our ability. So I hate hearing the time change, an excuse, or even the weather. The weather can be a factor sometimes, but at the end of the day, we got to go out there and play a football game.
That's the attitude to have. TJ Hall, Coach, I know he's special to you. I remember when he was recruited in here, might have been the only kid from California on the roster at that time. He and Deshaun Lee came in from Belleville, Michigan, and those two have turned into quite the dynamic duo at the corner. You talked about wide receivers all over the map, class All-American type receivers in the Big Ten. Somebody's got to guard them.
Yeah, it really seems like every week we're facing some really talented guys out there. So it's the nature of our league. And, yeah, to your point, these guys are both doing a great job. TJ's growing with every turn. Deshaun the same way. And, we got spoiled a little bit. You get a guy like Riley Moss comes through here and then, followed up with Cooper. So have guys that are really high caliber NFL prospects. And a year ago, both TJ and Deshaun were, I think, really kind of learning and getting that game experience. And then we all saw, especially TJ, we really saw him elevate this past spring at practice and really playing with the confidence of a veteran player. And that position requires that. So it's a lot of hard work, a lot of ups and downs, and he's just playing really at a high level this year. And Deshaun's not too far behind him. So it's the same thing. It's just about being out there. If you have a bad day or a bad play, moving forward, you got to do that. And that's part of the learning process. And just the only difference is, he's a little bit more exposed than a right guard or a defensive tackle. It's a little tougher to know what those guys are doing. Whereas, the guys out in the open, the good plays and bad plays stand out a little bit more.
Well, whether it's press man or cover two, they've really given a good account of themselves. And I know it helps to have outstanding safeties. And you've got a handful of those in the middle of the field.
We're doing pretty good there, too. And the other thing I was going to add, they're both just great teammates. They're really positive, hard-working guys and setting a great example for the younger guys, which is if you're going to have a good team, at least in our case, our younger guys have to be learning from older guys. And so glad to have TJ out front with the DBs. He's just really having a great year.
You can hear the extended interview with TJ Hall and our Matt Randazzo. You heard Matt. Matt hosts the first hour of our pregame coverage each game day. The Hawkeye Tailgate Show on Saturday starts at 12:30. We'll be live from Big Grove here in Iowa City. And you can hear the entire interview that TJ Hall did with Matt. And also this week's guests are Cooper Koch. Cooper, of course, from Hawkeye basketball, and Coach McCullum. And they're off to a 2-0 start. 6'8" Cooper Koch, son of J.R. Koch, who was a tremendous player here at Iowa. And the retiring John Campbell will stop by for an interview with Matt Randazzo. We try not to pick favorites, but if we had to, Coach, John would be right there near the top, wouldn't he?
Yeah, I don't have any problem picking John as a favorite just because he's so good and has been for such a long time. I told the quick story after the press conference last Saturday night because John, that was his last game in Kinnick, as I understand it at least. And I don't know what year it was, probably 10 years ago, but I was getting a cup of coffee on a Saturday morning, and Kurt Menefee, excuse me, I want to mix that up.
Sure.
Kurt Menefee from Fox was in the back there, and we made eye contact, and we'd never met each other, but anyway, kind of knew who each other were, and he came over and said hello, and I was curious. I said, hey, what brought you to town? He was actually doing the co-graduation speech.
He's a co-grad, right?
Co-grad, and I asked him. I said, what brought you to co? Just out of curiosity, where are you from? What brought you there? From the Atlanta, Georgia area, and came up here for communications. And he went on to tell me that he had done an internship with John each and every summer, and just how invaluable John's mentoring was to him and his development and his career. And they continue to be really, I think, very close. And you just never know. You never know how people impact other people. And it was no big surprise, John. You meet John, and he's a ultimate professional, really good at what he does, and so dedicated, but so fair, and just a tremendous human being. So just happy for John.
I've known John his entire 30-plus year career at Channel 9 KCRG up the road in Cedar Rapids, and he's an even better person, if that's possible. I mean, he anchored for years. He did the TV, our football TV show with Scott Sable afterwards, and myself for a few years, and he's just a quality human being.
I've always had a list of people that amaze me in a certain way, and I'll explain why. But the two people on that list were Bump Elliott and Governor Ray, and I think you can add John Campbell to it, where these are people that are out there, they're exposed, and it's really hard to find anybody to find something bad about any of those guys. And I don't know how you can be the athletic director at Iowa for 30 years or the governor of our state for whatever it was, 15 years, and then John, doing his job. And good luck finding somebody who's going to say something bad about any of those guys. They're just really rare people.
Well said, Coach. And on that note, we thank, as always, KCRG Channel 9.2 for being here tonight. They're beaming Hawk Talk with Coach Ferentz throughout eastern Iowa and central Iowa. Aaron Rooney at the head, along with Deacon Mike. They do a great job setting us up and putting these Musco lights right in our kisser that show our good looks around the Midwest. Coach.
Is that what they're doing?
Yeah, I think that's what they plan to try to do.
About that, yeah.
More compact, please, more pancake. But thanks to Aaron Deacon White from KCRG Channel 9.2. All right, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll go right to Twitter, Facebook, whatever your pleasure is, the U.S. Cellular text line. And, of course, you can reach us via email at HawkeyeRadioNetwork.com. Ken is in Muscatine. We'll start with Ken when we come back with Coach Ferentz as we continue our conversation about Iowa Southern Cal coming up Saturday from Los Angeles and the L.A. Memorial Coliseum. Back in 1 minute from Learfield.
Tournament Club of Iowa, designed by golf legend Arnold Palmer. TCI is his only signature course in the state. TCI is a public course offering a challenging yet enticing experience for golfers of all levels and is managed by Kaler Golf. Cap off your round with breathtaking views and a delicious meal at the TCI Bar and Grill. Looking for a unique setting for your wedding party or outing? Look no further than the newly renovated clubhouse at TCI. Visit tcofiowa.com to book your tee time today.
When it comes to holiday giving, Steel delivers power that lasts. From leaf blowers to pruners, every Steel battery tool is built to perform. And right now, batteries are included. Buy select battery tool sets and get a free extra battery this season. Find savings and gift ideas at SteelUSA.com. Happy holidays from Steel, proud supporter of the Iowa Hawkeyes. Offer valid for a limited time only at participating dealers while supplies last.
Cancer doesn't care. It doesn't care what you look like, how old you are, what you do, or where you live. We do. University of Iowa Healthcare is doing more to beat cancer than anyone in the state. From second opinions to life-saving treatments that happen here first. We lead the way in research, training, and care because we believe that UI Healthcare is here to make all of Iowa better. UI Healthcare, changing medicine, changing lives. Visit uihealthcare.org.
Can you think of anything that costs the same today as it did 10 years ago? There isn't much. That is, unless you're a Mid-American Energy customer. Thanks to all the renewable energy we're generating, our customers pay nearly the same rate for electricity today as they did back when we were all singing, "Call Me Maybe." And with Mid-American making even more investments in clean energy, you can count on enjoying those same affordable rates for the next decade. Now that's obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
Iowa fans, with US Mode from US Cellular, you can keep your eye on the game, not on your screen. Whether you're inside the stadium, tailgating in the lots, or listening to the game at home, US Cellular wants you to focus on genuine connections with your family, friends, and fellow Hawkeye fans. That means at game time, you should do less scrolling and more cheering. So eliminate distractions and build connections by setting your phone to US Mode, because game day is for cheering on the Hawkeyes. Go Hawks! US Cellular, built for us.
Get ready, Hawkeye fans. New head coach Ben McCullum and the Iowa men's basketball team are ready to hit the hardwood.
He's working hard into the corner. Catch, hits a three. Oh, talk about catch and shoot.
Carver Hawkeye Arena is heating up. Witness the electrifying plays in person and be a part of the roaring Carver crowd. Take in all the action happening at Carver Hawkeye Arena by visiting HawkeyeSports.com on Iowa, and go Hawks.
Hawks in Southern Cal from the LA Coliseum this weekend. Iowa quarterback Mark Gronowski has a thought or two on the USC defense.
Yeah, they got a lot of guys that are fast. They move really well, and they're really, really multiple. They like to throw a lot of different things at you on base, down, and D. I mean, they run every single coverage you can see, and every single coverage that you can think of. But then on third downs, they really buckle down and run a lot of man coverage. So we got to make sure our guys are winning, and I'm throwing good catchable balls that we can let our playmakers make plays.
And Bo Stevens, Iowa's outstanding left guard, commented about they plan to avoid an outcome like the trip last year to the Rose Bowl in UCLA.
Mentality-wise, so there's a difference between preparation and readiness. So we were prepared. We knew what they were running. We knew how to go against it. Ready is that day, that night, ready to play. And I think we just were not ready to play. And Coach Ferentz has said that multiple times over this last offseason. It's like we were not ready to play at UCLA that night, and we had lost the game beforehand. And it's just all about having that mentality of, like, I'm going to show up. I'm going to do my job with a aggressive force, and I'm going to do a good job, pretty much. There's two different sides of it. Preparing is knowing what they're going to do, practicing it during the week, getting used to the looks. Being ready is game time. I'm going to make that play. I'm going to execute. I'm going to make the makeables. So I think we just didn't make the makeables last year. So
make the makeables, says Bo Stevens. Coach, you got a lot of smart guys on that football team. You got a lot to process, especially if you're making a long trip to the West Coast. That's the Big Ten now, as we know it, though.
It is, and but Gronowski and Hawthorne, those guys, I asked them what the longest trip for them was, and when they went to UNI, it was 6 hours. And
just a bus.
Yeah, and I told the team, I said, when I coached at Maine, it takes you 3.5 hours. Just get out of the state. And because some knucklehead put the school right in the geographic center of the state. Nobody lives up there.
The
Everybody
most
lives in
remote
Portland.
part of the state.
Oh, my God. So it's like, it takes you forever just to get out of there. So
and that's just getting out. You got to come back.
That was just to get to the state border. Yeah, and then you had to go to wherever you're going. But so my point is, like, it's not that tough. And these guys all got technology. They got movies and they got video and all that stuff.
Lots of distractions.
Yeah, so everybody's gonna be fine. We're not taking a covered wagon or any of that stuff. So we should be fine.
The Oregon Trail.
Yep.
All right, Coach. Let's go to our Hawk fans on email. Ken's in Muscatine. He says, Coach, I'm no expert on analyzing offenses. Well, I'm glad you admit that, Ken. It seems to me that we throw towards the sidelines more often than we throw down the middle of the field. Is there a reason for that, or am I mistaken with my analysis?
No, there's probably a mix. I couldn't give you the percentage 100%, but in general terms, there's more traffic in the middle. So, when you throw it in the middle, you better have a really good idea of what you're doing and where you're going. And, some quarterbacks really struggle with that. I remember thinking about my time in the NFL. We had one quarterback who was extremely successful and had a great career, but you had to be careful about him throwing the ball in the middle because there are certain things you can't see and a lot of danger in there. So, and then if you throw the ball late outside, that could be a real issue too. It could be a fast 6 points the other way. So, it's a mix, and every play is designed a little bit differently. But quite frankly, usually depending on the plays, some plays are going to go where they're going to go. But a lot of plays are dictated by, especially in the drop back game, by the coverage and what the quarterback sees once the play starts to develop.
And a lot of it is dictated by the strength of the defense, particularly in the middle of the field. If their safeties are All-American, you're going to look to go away from them.
Yeah, and then, every now and then you got corners you just don't mess with either. And,
sure.
That's a real advantage defensively. If you have a guy like that, inside or outside, it really can impact things.
Well, and I just thought of something, which is rare for me, but on the move. But
I don't know about that.
If you need to shorten the passing game down, go to your tight ends. Iowa's tight end you. And on that note, DJ Vanami, you can see him getting better week by week. And, is it a breakthrough game for him last week? Pretty close, I would say. His first touchdown as a Hawkeye. I really like the way that kid is maturing.
Yeah, we really felt good about him recruiting. Went to Sam Brinks's high school, and talk about another guy that walked on here that was had a pretty
Carol
good career
Kemper,
for us.
huh?
Yep, did a great job, and he's back down to his high school weight now. He's looks like a basketball player, whereas he used to, he was a 3 technique for us, which is amazing. But DJ, I think the thing that's really intriguing about him, he came to camp, and we really liked what we saw there. But he was a high school quarterback, and I'm not saying he's Dallas Clark, but it's trying to make that projections a little bit guesswork in there. But he's got a great attitude. He's a really good athlete. The thing I've been very pleasantly surprised at, and I don't mean this in a demeaning way, but surprised in that, for a guy who played quarterback, his just, I don't want to call it instincts. It's not, but he has a good feel for how to block at, I think, a really young stage of his career. To me, he's way ahead of what I would have ever guessed or projected that way. So that's really been pleasant. I mean, he's just got he's very coachable on that stuff, and it just seems to work for him. But most importantly, he's got an attitude where he's trying to do it the right way, and that's a start for any good player at any position, and he certainly has that. So he's been a great addition to our football team.
Good stuff. One more off email, hawktalk@HawkeyeRadioNetwork.com. Jeff is in Pella. Coach, I was proud of the team's performance and effort against Oregon last Saturday. Can you use that performance as a motivational tool to prepare you for the trip to Southern Cal, or is that game flushed and in the rearview mirror? Well, I'd say it's probably a little bit of both.
It is, yeah, exactly. It's a little bit of both. We have flushed it. Losses are really hard to live with, and we allow everybody. I mean, Sunday's Sunday, so if we win, we feel good about it and celebrate it, and if we lose, I think it's okay to feel bad, because that's it means something to you. So that's part of the deal. But on Monday morning we got to be moving forward. The coaches have to move forward faster than that. Otherwise, we're really wasting some valuable time. But I think what I want our players to be proud of is the fact, and the writer said that, Bob, right? Anyway, he mentioned just the way they competed.
Excuse me, Jeff.
Jeff, I'm sorry. So, I think this team is just, we're 9 for 9 right now in terms of going out there and being ready to go at kickoff and really competing hard. And this game to me was a lot like that Indiana game, where both teams were just going back and forth at it. And I think, 3 really good teams that we're talking about here, and unfortunately we came up short, but couldn't be prouder of the effort that our team put out in those 2 games. And, like I said, they've been doing it all season long, and, we knew we had 12 games scheduled, so now it's week 10. We're going to have to do the same thing. And in some ways it's even easier, because when you watch Southern Cal on film, you don't have to be a, experienced coach to figure out, like, these guys are really good. And it's all 3 phases, so we really got our work cut out.
Gets the players' attention in a hurry, doesn't it, for sure?
Sure does.
Hawk Talk with Coach Ferentz is brought to you by Steel. This holiday, get power that's ready to work right out of the box. Buy select Steel battery tool parts and sets and get a free extra battery. Steel, S-T-I-H-L. Steel, proud supporter of the Iowa Hawkeyes. We're at View Rooftop in downtown Iowa City in the beautiful Hilton Garden Inn on the 12th floor. Experience a high-energy rooftop bar with spectacular views of downtown Iowa City, featuring a distinctly modern escape filled with a unique outdoor design. View Rooftop, located on the 12th floor of the Hilton Garden Inn. Specials on Hawkeye football game days like this weekend. View Rooftop provides a memorable experience of food, music, and, of course, fantastic views of the Iowa City skyline. Here's the number to call for reservations, 319-519-4650. 319-519-4650. Set up your View Rooftop reservation today. We'll come back with our remaining moments with Coach Ferentz. We'll also tell you who this week's Stead Family Children's Hospital Kid Captain is right after we pause on Kirk Ferentz Coach Ferentz and Hawk Talk live from View Rooftop and Learfield.
At Mid-American Energy, our 1.6 million customers depend on our energy 24/7. That's why we work 24/7 to deliver the safe, reliable energy you need. To keep our 99.9% reliability record, we're enhancing our technology, improving resiliency, and investing in critical infrastructure. We're generating power from all available resources to cover any increases in demand. And we're innovating to ensure you always have the energy you need. Mid-American Energy, obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
Iowa fans, with US Mode from US Cellular, you can keep your eye on the game, not on your screen. Whether you're inside the stadium, tailgating in the lots, or listening to the game at home, US Cellular wants you to focus on genuine connections with your family, friends, and fellow Hawkeye fans. That means at game time, you should do less growling and more cheering. So eliminate distractions and build connections by setting your phone to US Mode, because game day is for cheering on the Hawkeyes. Go Hawks! US Cellular, built for us.
When it comes to holiday giving, Steel delivers power that lasts. From leaf blowers to pruners, every Steel battery tool is built to perform. And right now, batteries are included. Buy select battery tool sets and get a free extra battery this season. Find savings and gift ideas at SteelUSA.com. Happy holidays from Steel, proud supporter of the Iowa Hawkeyes. Offer valid for a limited time only at participating dealers while supplies last.
Hello, Iowa. Here's a promise. Wherever you are in this great state, University of Iowa Healthcare is here for you, even if you never walk through our doors. Educating, caring, leading research, sharing our expertise with all. Because we believe that UI Healthcare is here to make all of Iowa better. UI Healthcare, changing medicine, changing lives. Visit uihealthcare.org.
We love it when the Hawkeyes do their thing, because if there's anyone who can appreciate building a legacy, it's John Deere. We've been growing our team since 1837, recruiting the best thinkers, doers, and makers to craft innovations that outpace the competition. Because whether it's cultivating the earth with a tractor or reshaping it with a 40-ton excavator, the machines we build are building America. Nothing runs like a Deere.
Welcome back to Hawk Talk tonight, live from View Rooftop in the Hilton Garden Inn with Coach Ferentz. We're here for another 10-12 minutes. Zach Lutmer, who's had such an outstanding year at safety and at the cash, he talked a little bit yesterday about the game plan against this Southern Cal offense, how they plan to bait the Trojans into turnovers.
Yeah, well, first it starts with the run. I think they're leading the Big Ten in rushing, so we got to limit that. And then obviously, they got Mackay, and then they got Jacoby Lane, another good receiver. So we're definitely going to be honed in. Secondary's got to be locked in. Obviously, we got to stop the run first, but they're going to try to get the ball to their best players, and we got to try to limit that.
Zach Lutmer's got a pick six this year, hopefully one or two in store for Saturday. The 205-pound sophomore from Rock Rapids, 50 tackles on the year with a couple of interceptions and a sack. He is, I don't want to say solidified that safety area, because you've got several guys collectively with Zach that have solidified that might be at least depth-wise one of your stronger positions on the football team, Kirk.
Yeah, he's been just playing at such a high level, and again, as coaches, we get to, we've seen him since he got here. We saw him in high school, and just a really impressive athlete and a tremendous young guy. But the only thing he really lacked coming into this season was a lot of game experience, and now he's got that after 9 weeks of the season. So he's playing at a really high level. He's easily the most versatile guy probably on our entire team, but I think he could play any of the 5 positions back there, either corner spot, either safety, and also the cash position. So it's rare to have that kind of versatility. Cooper had that same versatility.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying they're the same player, but the point is that it's a very rare thing when guys can move around like that and have that flexibility mentally and physically. So great guy to have on our football team, and he's done a great job this year.
And he will again Saturday against the Southern Cal Trojans as he spies on that potent USC offense. By the way, if you're heading to the game, the Hawkeyes and Southern Cal, 2:30 for the kick. Iowa time, 12:30 for the pregame show. You Hawk fans, you're encouraged to attend the Hawkeye Huddle prior to kickoff Saturday. Fans are invited to join the I-Club and the Office of Alumni Engagement from 9:30 until 11:30 Saturday morning at BMO Stadium. BMO Stadium, 3939 South Figueroa Street in Los Angeles. It's close nearby to the LA Coliseum. The Hawkeye Huddle will feature live music, Spirit Squad, door prizes, snacks, and cash refreshments. And you need to register, though, before the event itself. You can register now for this tonight or tomorrow. Just visit jointheiclub.com. Jointheiclub.com for more details, and we'll see you at the Hawkeye Huddle as Iowa takes on Southern Cal. That's a 12:30 West Coast start, but 2:30 Iowa time for you folks back here in the Midwest. Coach, before time gets away, let's welcome this week's University of Iowa Stead Family Children's Hospital kid captain, 12-year-old Blake Bonta of Urbandale. I heard you talking about Blake yesterday.
Yeah, another amazing story. What a tremendous young guy he is, and obviously he's been through a lot medically and really fought through that, and his family's been there to support him each and every step. But what an amazing story about him raising those funds.
$100,000, right? I heard you say, or
over $100,000. And first of all, who would think of that? And then secondly, just taking that initiative and really, doing it in the spirit of helping other people. So, just a tremendous young guy, and just wish him and his entire family all the best.
12 years old, Blake is, from Urbandale. He was healthy until age 9 when he had a bad headache at his birthday party. So they checked it out, revealed a brain tumor that had already spread to his spinal cord. And at UI Stead Family Children's Hospital, Blake underwent surgery, radiation, and chemotherapy. Now, usually you get one of the three, but all three, it tells you how tough he is. Today, Blake is regaining his strength and his coordination. He's continuing therapy and inspiring everyone with his courage. And if there's any sales company out there that needs a salesman, this young guy went out and raised over $100,000.
How about that?
For cancer research to fight cancer. We got a great picture of him there from KCRG Channel 9.2. Blake Bonta from Urbandale. A lot of good Hawks come out of Urbandale, too, by the way. So, Blake, all the best for you going forward. And we'll be sure and give you a shout-out come Saturday. By the way, you can tailgate at Kinnick for the Michigan State game still to come. The Kinnick Premium Tailgate, presented by Navigate Wellbeing Solutions, includes your tent, parking, cooler, and tables, all set up in Krause Family Plaza. Just steps from kickoff. You can watch Kirk and the Hawkeyes get off the bus on game day Saturday for Michigan State. We don't have a time on that, do we? We still no time on that. But it's not going to be a night game. It'll either be 11:30 or 11 o'clock or 2:30, and we like those times. Just steps from kickoff, Krause Family Plaza. Don't miss it. Go to HawkeyeSports.com/tailgate, HawkeyeSports.com/tailgate. And what a way to close the home portion of the schedule. Still got a bowl game somewhere we want you to go with us, but the Kinnick Premium Tailgate is the best. Let's go to the U.S. Cellular text line, Coach. Larry and Prairie du Chien up along the Mississippi River across from Marquette, McGregor and Prairie. Coach, has artificial intelligence entered into college football yet? If so, how? Go Hawks.
I'm sure it's entered into everything, it seems like. But, our guys, we used to use Pro Football Focus and various resources, just to get information, intel on people you're playing, statistical stuff, and all that. So I'm not delving too deep into any of that stuff, but we have a lot of young guys in the office that do that and get their research and what have you. And anything you can get it might help the cause. We're open to it for sure.
AI, that's the new buzz acronym these days. Matt in Vinton. Matt is on Facebook at facebook.com/Voice of the Hawks. Is it challenging for you and Coach Woods to convince players that they will be limited to special teams or scout team play only when they're accustomed to being the best players on the field coming out of high school? It's kind of the Iowa way. Other schools do it, obviously, but you cut your teeth on special teams.
Yeah, I really do. And if you think historically, it's how Bob Sanders, everybody's noticed him. It was a Michigan State game where he ran down and just stoned a guy.
Cooper
on a kickoff, Cooper. Traditionally, a lot of our
best players. That's where they started. Dallas Clark was a special teams ace, and that's when we figured out, like, this guy's out of position. He doesn't play that way on defense. But anyway, yeah. So, and then the other component there, a lot of positions. I shouldn't really rephrase that. Some positions are more compatible to special teams. So, an offensive lineman's not really going to do much on the special teams aspects, and defensive linemen not as much. But linebackers, defensive backs, receivers, fullbacks, tight ends. They all have opportunity, and it's a place for them. It's an opportunity for them to get on the field, maybe with less experience than somebody else. And it doesn't take the extent of the knowledge and understanding. It's not as deep as it would be to be an offensive whatever or a defensive whatever. So it just gives them a clearer path to the field, learn the competition, get used to the pace, and then that helps them transition into their other roles. And again, there's exceptions to every rules, but we've had a lot of guys take that path to the field and on to great careers.
Now, back in the day when we had the wedge on kick returns.
Then linemen were involved,
yes,
exactly.
The Robert Galleries and Sheriffs of the world, you needed the wedge to form that big pocket in the middle for a guy like, Bob Sanders, who could run, but Bob didn't return kicks, I know. But Desmond King would love to run behind a wedge, as they say now. It's kind of outdated now. Here's Kyle. He must be from the Quad Cities. Coach, how's Kyler Girardi, the kid from North Scott, coming along? What position do you project him at in the near future?
He's definitely a safety. He's working at that and then working on special teams as well. And Kyler's a tremendous young guy. Had a great career at North Scott and just shows up every day and works hard. And let me flash back. Bo Stevens mentioned the UCLA game. I'm just smiling here because Kyler was our third-team quarterback in that game.
Ooh.
Woo was right because he was certainly not ready for that, and that's not his best position. But that was the state of the state where we were at last year when we went out there.
Last one for Coach tonight, anyway. Eugene, Coach, how often do you evaluate your travel routine? I like that with a minute left to go in the show.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can really evaluate. Some things you can, but you're pretty well set.
Every time we do anything, we at the end of the weekend we go back and recap, what could change logistically, any issues, et cetera, whatever, and then we spend a lot of time in the off season looking at things, especially when you're going to the West Coast or something that's out of the ordinary. So it's like one more thing. We just try to evaluate and talk about everything. Is there a better way? Did that work? Is there something we could do? So it's ongoing.
It is ongoing. There you go. Thanks, Eugene, for the call. Coach, we'll see you in sunny California on Saturday.
Look forward to it. Thanks, Gary.
Coach Ferentz, I'm Gary Dolphin. Thanks for joining us at View Rooftop tonight for Hawk Talk with Kirk Ferentz. We're back next Wednesday night again, 12:30 for the pregame, 2:30 for the kick. On Saturday, the Hawks and the Trojans. Good night, everybody.
This has been Hawk Talk, brought to you by Steel. This fall, power up with Steel, a proud supporter of the Iowa Hawkeyes. Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy. U.S. Cellular, the official wireless partner of the Iowa Hawkeyes. U.S. Cellular, built for us. Iowa corn. You might think Iowa just grows corn, but the truth is corn grows Iowa. Brought to you by Iowa's corn farmers of the Iowa Corn Growers Association and the Iowa Corn Promotion Board. Also brought to you by your Iowa John Deere dealers. John Deere loves to see the Hawkeyes do their thing, because if anyone can appreciate building a legacy, it's Deere. By your local Ford dealers. University of Iowa Healthcare, changing medicine, changing lives. Lennox and your local Lennox home comfort specialist, made right here in Iowa since 1895. And by Mid-American Energy. Mid-American Energy is proud to deliver affordable, reliable energy to you all season long. The preceding has been a Learfield presentation on the Hawkeye Sports Network.